Hi everyone, hello and welcome to this another interesting session. I hope your exams have been good to you. The SST paper was extremely good and the start was absolutely fantastic and bombastic, and you look forward to the next paper. So here's wishing you all the very best for the papers that are going to come up, and I hope this session be of equal help to you. Now, if you have not seen the previous two poetries that we have mind mapped on our YouTube channel, then please make sure you check that as well. I think it's going to be of great help to you. So once you're done, studying all by yourself and you probably want to take a break, but you don't want to go away from studies, then I think program or a session or a planned activity like this can be of real help to invest your time wisely when you are in that leisure space, but in the exam horizon, okay, in that exam time frame. So anyway, today's session is going to be about a tiger in the zoo. It's a beautiful poetry and I hope you remember me. So yeah, it is a gorgeous poetry. It is a poetry, I think, after discussing that in our plus classes, we students and teachers together, we decided that we're not going to go to a zoo again. Probably go for a wildlife safari where you are in the cage and they are roaming free, because you are entering their territory. Just because you want to see them or I want to see them or we want to see them, that doesn't mean that we just put them behind the bars and we roam around freely to see them. Now that is wrong, okay? That is like taking away someone's freedom, which is a very big crime. It's a big sin. So this is what Leslie Norris is actually pointing out to, and after drawing the conclusion from this poetry, we all realized that, okay, say a no to zoo, because if we don't buy the tickets of the zoo and if we don't visit them, then in that case definitely zoo is making a loss and they would probably shut down. And once they shut down, what are they going to do with the animals? They're going to leave them in the wild. Let's hope for that. So hoping for the best. Let's not give any income to these zoo guys, only for a very simple reason: they're captivating someone, okay, and a life. An animal is as lively as you and I. Okay, so congratulations for the beginning of the boards, and I hope you have a fun time attempting them. Just enjoy your papers. And today's session is going to be Tiger in the Zoo. Now let's quickly revise the agenda of today's session. What we're going to do is we're going to do the poetic devices. We're going to do what the poet is trying to say, what is the mood of the poet, the thoughts of the tiger, the differentiation of the stanzas, the poetic devices. I think I repeated the poetic devices. Okay, so the poem rhyming scheme, and we are also going to understand the theme and the central message of this poetry. So oh my god, we got a lot of work to do. So let's get started and let's dive into this session of a tiger in the zoo. And before we dive in, sorry to say, but yeah, this is not updated, but it looks better when you visit it. So do check this out and do not forget to hit the follow button. That's how my course page looks like. It will send you a notification every time I come live, and you can also watch more than 500-600 free classes that I have done over the year, that you can enjoy absolutely, and Tiger and Zoo is one of them. A lot of 10th standard literature syllabus has been covered in special classes also, so I would really request you to check that out. I think it's going to be a big time savior, okay? We've also practiced question banks of the CBSE that CBSE had issued for practice, so make sure that you check that out as well. It is there in the special class. And if you really enjoy learning with us, then do not forget to use my code VBLive and take a 10% discount. You can also use the code to unlock all my classes, and at the same time across the portal of Unacademy you can use this code. So now it's time for me to quickly introduce myself. A very quick short introduction. Hi everyone, I'm Vandana Bajaj, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe this video and this channel if you really enjoy it, okay? Also guys, I have been teaching for last 13.5 years, and with Unacademy I've been associated for over a year and a half, and my journey has been extremely, absolutely, I just mixed two words, okay, excitement you see, and a little nervousness, क्योंकि मेरे बच्चों के boards चल रहे हैं, I mean आप लोगों के boards चल रहे हैं. So yes, coming back to my introduction, I have been teaching for last 13.5 years, and with Unacademy I've been associated for over a year and a half, and my journey has been absolutely to be gratified for. It has been beautiful. Also guys, you will find me in the K-12 category of CBSE, that is for class 9, 10, 11 and 12, and my subject expertise on the platform of Unacademy is for English and economics, so do not forget to check that out. And you will find, if you're a plus and iconic student, you should check out my mind mapping notes. I think they're going to be of great help to you. Okay. Right below my picture is my code VB Live, and it's multi-purpose, multifunctional, can be used at multiple places at multiple times. So I have already told you about the benefit of using that code, and now I'm going to make you dive into this beautiful session. So I hope we are ready to crack a tiger in the zoo. It's a lovely poetry, and as you can see, it's a beautiful slide, right? Really makes you feel that royal beast on your slide. Okay, so let's quickly read this poetry together before we start our activity for the day. Okay, so we're going to do a lot of things. A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. Important to remember the name of the poet. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage, on paths of velvet quiet, in his quiet reach. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole where plump deer pass. He should be snarling around houses, at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So that's where the poetry ends, on a very sad note. It stirs that emotion inside you as a human being. So let's quickly start analyzing this poetry, before we dive into doing the theme analysis and the stanza analysis. So we are going to be back with our handwritten notes, and I hope you guys are ready with your books, pens and pencils to note down this beautiful slide once again. So we are talking about a very, very nice poetry, and I'm just going to, okay, I don't know why, but my PC runs a little slow today. I mean laptop. Okay, so we are talking about, see, you cannot see, see, it's magically appearing on your slide. Okay, we're going to talk about a tiger in the zoo today, and this poetry has been written by Leslie Norris. Please remember it, it is LN, okay, and remember the spelling, they can confuse you absolutely when it comes to the spelling. Now the first thing that you see about the poetry is what? Okay, what is the first thing that you notice about the poetry? Okay, that it is divided into 5 stanzas. It's important to know that. And 5 stanzas, 4 lines each. Now when we read the poetry, we did see the rhyme scheme of the poetry is pretty even in all the paragraph, in all the stanzas, okay. So talking about the rhyme scheme, let's just quickly fix that up, okay. And if the rhyme scheme is the same in all the stanzas, then we keep it the same, okay. Then we write it as that, okay, we don't change the alphabets. हम उसके alphabets A, B, C, D नहीं बदलते हैं. That's what we discussed last time. So let's quickly pick up a pen and take a bright color so that you can see what I'm doing on the slide. Okay, so we're going to focus on the last words of every stanza, just in case if you're watching this session for the first time or a session with me for the first time. I'm going to quickly explain you how do we go about this, okay. So you will just underline all the last words of every line, and over here you will start calling it as A. Now cage and stripes, it doesn't rhyme, so we're going to call it as B. Quiet and cage doesn't rhyme, quiet and stripes doesn't rhyme, so we're going to call it as C. And rage and cage, easy to guess, they rhyme. A, B, C, B is the first stanza. Now if you see the second stanza, okay, shadow, grass, hole and pass, it still has the same pattern, okay. Like this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is again B. So the whole poetry, if it has the same rhyme pattern, so the whole poetry we will say has a rhyming scheme A, B, C, B. So chalo फटाफट check कर लेते हैं. Houses A, edge B, clause C, and village B. Edge and village. Pardon my throat, it's not that great today. sorry, but he's locked in a concrete cell, bars, cage, and visitors. Okay, so here we are going to call it as A, bars we're going to call it as B, cage as C, and visitors as B, bars and visitors, yeah, they rhyme. And then we have night, cars, eyes, and stars, absolutely the same rhyme scheme. So A, B, C, and B. So we can actually conclude that the poetic device for all the stanzas used in the poetry is A, B, C, B. Am I right? Yes. So this is what you have to remember and can be asked for your MCQs. Chalo, ye to easy wali baat ho gayi. Okay, now let's dig into, I'm not going to write the whole thing right now. I'm just going to name it as stanza 1 and stanza 2 to save your time. So we start with our stanza 1. Now if you read all the stanzas, you know, there is something that you're going to see in this poetry which is very common, and that is like the real versus ideal. Okay, what is the real state and what should have been the ideal state? In fact, stanza number 1 tells you that what is the real state, okay, of the tiger, and stanza number 2 actually tells you what should have been the ideal state. Okay, so let's dig into stanza number 1. And stanza number 1, okay, stanza number 1 goes like this. No, that is, yeah, okay. So he stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on paths of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Now over here, if you see, he stalks in his vivid stripes. Stalks is nothing but walks. And as you see, the poet is actually trying to tell you that the tiger is captivated. So point number 1 that we notice in this stanza is that हमें पता चल जाता है कि वो जेल में है, सेल में है, केज में है. Cell is nothing but jail. So the point number 1 that you see over here is that the tiger is captivated. Okay, now when I say the tiger is captivated, where is he captivated? He's captivated in a cell, which is actually the cage that we're talking about. And he is a royal figure because he has those vivid stripes on his body. Okay, so it just tells us that what a royal beast the tiger is, and look what we have done to him. So the tiger is a royal beast, and see what we have reduced him to. We have put him inside the cage. Okay, and when he say he stalks in his cage the few steps. Now the moment I say the few steps, okay, over here when I say the few steps, what is it trying to show you? Now see, these are the MCQs that are going to come to you, okay, as in they're going to be asking you this. So the few steps are actually telling you that the cage is really small in size. I mean, for a huge beast like a tiger who's so active, so energetic, ये cage बहुत छोटा है. Okay, so the few steps of his cage, and then there is a line that, you know, he's walking, and we also know that he has padded feet. Okay, padded feet, sorry, he has padded feet because his paws are like velvet fabric. Okay, so please remember, because it has been compared to the velvet fabric, we understand that, okay, it is very padded. What else do we see in this stanza? Okay, there is something that is very intelligent and observant. If you have noticed that thing, if you have not, okay, it's time for you to notice it now. So the next important thing that you notice in stanza number 1 is that the rage. What do you mean by the rage? The fury, the anger. Okay, the anger of the tiger is captivated, and this anger is quietened in captivity. So we are going to say this anger is quietened. Remember the vocab that I'm telling you, okay, right now. So this is quietened. Why it is quietened? Because the tiger is in captivity. Okay, sab chup kyun hai? Because the tiger is in captivity. So because he's in his cage, he's very quiet right now. Now this is a very important point, and I want you to make a note of something next to this. Okay, so what are you going to note down? Something very interesting next to this. I want you to write that this cage that we're talking about, okay, this cell that we're talking about has actually muted the tiger. Okay, remember the word. So cage makes, this is a very important point for your MCQs. Okay, so cage makes the wild instincts. Okay, he's a wild beast, he's a royal beast. the wild instincts of the tiger mute, chup, because we come to know that he is walking the few steps of his cage in quiet rage. And also one more thing I want you to note down over here is that he is suppressing his anger. So there is an expression of suppression that has been used over here. He is suppressing his anger. So that is point number 1. But as we go into the point number 2, now we talk about the suitability कि ideally होना क्या चाहिए था, है क्या और होना क्या चाहिए था. So now we're talking about the suitability. So coming down, I hope you guys are writing it with me, and I hope I am not a little quick. You can always pause the video, you have that option. So stanza number 2, the point that you see over here is talking about the suitability. Why is it saying the suitability? Because it is talking about the natural habitat of the tiger. Okay, it is talking about the natural habitat of the tiger. That means it is telling you about something that is ideal for tiger. Okay, he's talking about something that is ideal for a tiger. A tiger is not meant to live in a cage surrounded by human beings, in a concrete cage. You know, we are the people who like our houses to be concrete, not the tiger, not the animals. They want green, they want free. So it is ideal for the tiger. Now, at this time, what he should be doing, so he has described the wild nature of the tiger. And there's a very important point I want you to note down here. Wild nature of a tiger. No matter that we call this tiger as a beast, but we need to understand that the poet is telling you about the tiger hunting a deer. Okay, a nice fleshy plump deer. But that just shows that a tiger attacks only when there is a need to attack. Okay, so tiger hunts only when it's hungry. Okay, unlike the human beings, only when it's hungry. Unlike the humans who hunt for their joy, fun and hobby. So tiger, भले ही हम उसे wild कहते हैं, but actually he is not that wild. Okay, he lives in the wild, and that is the reason he's called wild. So that is a very important point. Okay, and also in this part, we'll just write down one more important point. Also in this part, there is, you know, the imagination that the poet is actually trying to build in your mind. Okay, so imagination of wildlife and the joy of being in his own house. आपको ले जाके कोई कितने भी सुंदर पिंजरे में बंद करते सोने के, दिन रात सुबह शाम आपको क्रीम केक चॉकलेट्स दे, लेकिन आपको किसी से मिलने ना दिया जाए, आपको अपनी पसंद की जगह पे जाने ना दिया जाए, तो nobody is going to like that kind of a cage, right? And it also depicts the imagination of the wildlife, and it talks about the wildlife instincts. Okay, remember this. Instincts means what? वो लोग क्या करते हैं जब वो लोग अपने घर में होते हैं. So this is also a point that is bringing me to the point that I wrote here, that a tiger hunts only when it is hungry. It doesn't hunt for joy, play, or just like that. Okay, so this is the stanza number 2 that we just spoke about, which talks about the ideal thing. Now we come down to the elaboration of the stanza 2, which is again in the stanza 3. So we can say that over here, ideal is represented by stanza 1. Real is represented by stanza 1. Ideal is represented in stanza 2 and stanza 3. Okay, so let's go down. Niche chaliye, yeah, feels like a lift man. Okay, and that's a job of patience, right? Okay, so stanza number 3. Stanza number 3 is like, you know, a further elaboration of stanza number 2. So stanza number 3 में there is a description that is given. Okay, so वहाँ पे suitability थी. Stanza number 3 is pointing out towards description. Now what description are we giving you, or the poet is actually giving us the description of wild behavior. Okay, in this part of the poetry we are actually talking about the behavior of the tiger if he would have been at home. जैसे हम किसी मेहमान के घर जाते हैं तो हम कितने सभ्य होते हैं, लेकिन जब हम अपने घर में होते हैं तो हमसे बड़ा जानवर कोई नहीं होता. ओके, हमसे बड़ा राक्षस कोई नहीं होता. Ask your parents, they will tell you. So yes, the description of the wild behavior, जब आप अपने खुद के घर में होते हो तो आप सबसे नेचुरल होते हो. ठीक है, आप कुछ शुगर कोटेड नहीं होते हो. ओके, सो यहाँ पे यू नो द टाइगर वुड बी मेकिंग साउंड्स लाइक snarling, terrorizing people. See, he's not killing people, okay? He's just terrorizing them. So until and unless we instigate, the tiger won't attack us, okay? So, sorry, kill nahi, not kill. So it will hunt, it will snarl, it will terrorize. अगर वो अपने घर में होता ना तो वो ये सारी चीज़ें दिखाता. अब यहाँ पर you know they have told this point. Let's just go down a little. So over here the poet is actually trying to show a terrifying image, डरा देने वाली. Terrifying image of the tiger. And what all words, what all ideas, or what all symbols are he using? Is he using over here? Are being used over here? Now this is a very important point again. So when he says white fangs, okay, which is like his tooth, the big tooth, the white tooth that he uses to attack. So this is the symbol. And then he has also told about the fangs and claws. Okay, so claws is also a symbol. So over here the poet has actually used these points as a symbol. Symbol to show what? Symbol to show power and symbol to show dominance. So this is a very important point. So if you see, this symbolically is trying to represent that a tiger is a very fierce animal, okay, and a very cruel animal. However, it will attack you only if you provoke it to. So on a general basis, a tiger is a fierce animal. Okay, so it's descriptive. The behavior of tiger in stanza 3 that is being presented is of fierceness. And what did I just tell you? It is fierceness and yeah, a cruel behavior, okay? But it is only if we provoke it. So this is actually the behavior that we're talking about in the stanza number 3. Okay, or you can also use the word manner, way of life. Okay. Now, we come down to stanza number 4. I'm just not opening the slide again and again, so I'm just keeping the poetry in front of me. Okay, so moving down to our stanza number 4. Now stanza number 4 is actually, you know, bringing back to the reality. So the bar is concrete, which shows that, you know, it is man-made. And here the word bar, okay, is used to represent the cage, strength behind bars. Okay, so this is a representation for a cage. Now I just want you to note this down right here because I'm already in between an explanation, so I'll just note it down here. Okay, so bar is actually, okay, strength behind the bars. Let's just write this as an S. Okay, strength behind the bars is actually explaining you or telling you that this is a part, okay, it is a part of the cage and the cage is a whole. So whenever you, if you have seen my poetic devices video, okay, so when a part is used to represent the whole, in that case we say that it is synecdoche. Okay, now why am I telling you this at this point of time? Is because You will come to know. I'm just going, okay, okay. I'm just going to the other side of this part. So here I am telling this to you. That this is cynic, and the way you spell ducky, just trying to go this side, is like this. Okay, so when you use a part to represent a whole, it is called as synecdoche. But if they ask you in an MCQ, okay, like if they ask you a theoretical MCQ and not a poetic device MCQ, in that case I want you to remember the point that I'm telling you, that bar is also used to show and to represent captivity. Theoretically अगर आप आंसर देने जाओगे तो आप ये वर्ड भी याद रखना, that bar is also used to show what? It is also used to show captivity. Captivity का मतलब क्या होता है? बंदिश, किसी को बांध के रखना. Okay, which is absolutely wrong. So bar has not just locked the tiger. Okay, I'll come back to my original slide. I hope you've written that part. Okay, so coming back to what we were talking about. Now this bar, okay, this bar has not just locked the tiger, but it has also locked the strength of the tiger. What the tiger would have done, okay, to the people who are doing this to him if this tiger would have been free. So it has launched, it has locked, not launched, it has locked the strength of the tiger. The next point that I want to tell you is that when you lock someone's strength, it is a very genuine feeling that जब हम ये करते हैं ना किसी के साथ, तो it is going to make the person feel irritated and frustrated. So now the emotions of the tiger is that he is, he's frustrated. He wants to move out, but is not able to do so. So he is frustrated, and because of this frustration, he is ignoring the visitors. So he ignores the people who come to see him. Ramesh, Suresh, tiger, शेर, घुर्रा के दिखा, शेर, कुछ बोलता ही नहीं है. So all these people who behave like this, jahil ekdam, in the zoo. So yes, tiger is frustrated, and therefore he's ignoring the visitors because he knows that they're just going to seek entertainment out of his pathetic condition, and they're not going to really help him. So why is he ignoring the visitors? Because he knows that these guys are of no help to me. So over here I'm just going to write this. He knows that visitors of the zoo seek entertainment out of him. उन्हें तो मज़ा आ रहा है उसे ऐसे देखकर, and will not help him. तो हमें उसका दुख देख के मज़ा आता है. Okay, we the visitors. So that is what is expressed in stanza number 5, which is like stirring the human inside you, that what you're doing is not right. Okay, this is not what you are supposed to do to an animal who cannot talk and express like you. So this is stanza number 4, and then coming down to the last stanza, stanza number 5, which is again very interesting, which shows that as humans, what we have given him from his house. So this stanza is now talking about the pain. A beautiful word for pain is agony. It talks about the pain of captivity. कि जब आप किसी को पिंजरे में बंद कर देते हो तो क्या होता है. So it is talking about the pain of captivity. Now over here there is another thing that we should keep in mind, that he doesn't even have the sounds of forest. So doesn't even have the sounds of forest. Okay, now why do we say that, it is the sound of forest? Because he is not even, what do we say, he is not even, अरे eraser मिल गया. Okay, so he is not even getting to hear the sound of the forest. Now why the sound of the forest is so important? It helps in keeping the spirit alive of the animal. Okay, so helps in keeping the spirit alive. इनफैक्ट जब आप अपने घर में रहते हो तो आपको कितना सेफ लगता है, पता है? भले ही आपका घर 5 स्टार होटल के रूम जैसा ना हो, बट इट स्टिल मेक्स यू फील वेरी सेफ, राइट? सेम थिंग हैपन्स विद अ टाइगर. सो हेल्प्स इन कीपिंग द स्पिरिट अलाइव. टाइगर फील्स सेफ इन द जंगल if the sound of the jungle was there. But right now हमने तो उसे पूरे तरीके से एहसास दिलाया है that no beta, you are in, you are among the human beings, because the last sound that we've given him, even पूरे दिन तो वो शोर शराबा रहता है जितने भी लोग आते हैं, but towards the end of the day भी हमने उसको क्या दिया है, the last sound that he hears is, so now he hears sound of, absolutely right, patrolling cars. What are these patrolling cars? These patrolling cars are your guardian cars, the zookeeper cars, who make sure that at night everything is safe and sound in the zoo and situation is absolutely under control. So this is what he hears now, and this is what we have taken away from him. Okay, so he doesn't even have the sound of forest, which would have actually kept his spirit alive and made him feel safe. But now what he hears is, again, पूरे दिन तो वो ह्यूमन ही सुनता है, ह्यूमन की आवाज़, एंड रात में भी वो यही सुनता है. The only part of nature that we have given him are the brilliant stars at night. So remember, important for MCQs, tiger's eyes plus stars. Both the things are called brilliant, and they can also ask you what is glowing in the night. So it is again his eyes and stars. Okay, so this is the only part of nature that we have given to the tiger. बदले में उससे इतना कुछ ले लिया और उसे रिटर्न में क्या थमा दिया? सिर्फ तारे देखने की आज़ादी. So we will say only part of nature, given to the tiger. Or let's not say given to the tiger, हम क्या देंगे? Stars उसको. The tiger has. जैसे आप कहाँ कहीं चले जाते हो, जब आपको घर की याद आती है तो आप वो चीज़ देखते हो जो आपको घर की सबसे ज़्यादा याद दिलाती हो या आपको फेमिलियर लगती हो अपने घर से. सो दैट बिकम्स योर कॉर्नर, योर कोज कॉर्नर, ओके, योर कोजी कॉर्नर. सेम थिंग हैपेंस विद द टाइगर. द ओनली थिंग ऑफ द नेचर दैट ही गेट्स टू सी, इवन द साउंड्स आर ह्यूमन, बट द ओनली थिंग दैट ही गेट्स टू सी इन द नेचर आर द ब्राइट टाइगर, द ब्राइट स्टार्स इन द स्काई. एंड this is like the poet is actually saying that he's feeling sorry for the tiger. जो भी उसके साथ हम कर रहे हैं बहुत गलत है, and poet is absolutely being sympathetic. So this stanza actually tells us that the poet feels the pain of the tiger, and this feeling will actually be called as sympathy. So you know that the poet has a sympathetic attitude towards the tiger. So now coming down to another important part of the poetry, because this poetry has multiple themes, you can expect a question absolutely on the theme of this poetry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you write a couple of them, so that if at all it comes in your paper, chances are very high of it coming in your paper. So you always have a scope of just remembering that what we had discussed, and that will help you to crack this particular poetry or the MCQs from this poetry. So theme is a very important part of the poetry. Now here there are several themes that the poet has spoken about, like one being a very obvious theme, that is freedom versus captivity. Freedom lets you be yourself. Captivity takes away the basic joy of your nature. Essay. Then there is a theme, which says tamed, pala hua, petted, domesticated versus wild. How a tiger behaves when he is actually tamed, okay, when he's put in a cage or under human control, and how he would have actually behaved if he was in the wild. So that's an important point. Then we have, a theme that shows the wilderness, that is the jungle, okay, and you can also add this with nature's beauty, which is being talked about in this poetry when he is in the jungle, the long grass lurking behind the shadow, okay, and all that points. But the most important theme of this entire poetry, which will help you in your MCQs also, is this, okay. This is like the most important, and the others are there, but the one that is the most important, the essence of the poem comes out in this theme, and that is what the poet is trying to tell you. Now let me just scroll a little down, and nature's beauty also comes out when he talks about stars, grass, water hole, and all of that, okay. I think this is what I wanted you to write down. I had noted down some points for you, and I did not want to absolutely forget that. Okay, now coming down to our second most important part of the session, and that we all know is our poetic devices. So let's come down to talking about figures of speech. A very, very important part. So let's get to the game now. So many of you must have been waiting for this, but I hope you enjoyed the other part, and if you've really enjoyed, do not feel to leave a comment below, because I would love to read how you felt after watching this session. Okay, so let's go back to our poetry, and poetry, please come. Okay, so let's go back to our poetry. He stalks in his vivid stripes. Now again, please remember, stalks in his vivid stripes. तो एक चीज तो आप देखो, कुछ चीजें मैं आपको यहीं लिखा दे, नहीं चलो ठीक है, पूरा ही लिखा लेते हैं. Stalks in his vivid stripes. अब सबसे पहली चीज I want you to note down is this, okay. Stalks, sir, in his vivid stripes. So you are repeating the sound of sir, okay. आप sir का sound repeat कर रहे हो because it is being repeated in between the word, at the end of the word, at the start of the word. So therefore we are going to call it as consonants. अगर सिर्फ start में होता तो हम क्या बोलते, alliteration. लेकिन because वो बीच बीच में भी हुआ है, end में भी हुआ है, so एक poetic device तो consonants है. However, you have another poetic device better than consonants over here, and that belongs to this word stripes. Okay, now stripe is actually telling you about the whole animal. So it is a part, and this part is representing the whole. And what is the whole? Tiger. What is the whole? The whole is tiger. Okay, so this is why we say that there is a very nice use of synecdoche. Okay, what is the other poetic device that you're going to see over here? That is synecdoche. Okay, so if you have a choice to make between consonants and synecdoche, then absolutely you know that synecdoche is the winner. Okay, the next poetic device, let's discuss. Okay, the few steps of his cage. Again, steps, cage, his. Okay, on pads of velvet quiet is again a very important line. So on pads of velvet quiet is again a very nice poetic device, use of very nice poetic device. So when we say on pads of velvet quiet, what does it show that? Okay, it tells you that literally the pads are not there. It is actually the paws, but the paws are so padded कि आपको उसके चलने की आवाज़ भी नहीं आती है. Okay, so they are so padded that they are compared. In fact, they are indirectly compared. And when we say that they are indirectly compared, what are we trying to say? You can just remember my hack: replacement. Okay, and they are compared to what? They are compared to pads of velvet. So because they are indirectly compared to pads of velvet, actually the paws are being spoken about, and the paws are called as pads of velvet quiet because they are so padded. So we are going to say that this is a very good use of metaphor over here. All the students who guessed it are absolutely right, but just in case if you are one of those who had just memorized it, mugged it up, now you know the correct way of remembering it. Alright, on pads of velvet quiet is again a consonants also. You will see a lot of consonants in this poetry, okay? But that is the secondary one. The primary is metaphor. He should be lurking in shadow, sure, sure. So over here, if you see this sure, sure, it's going to be alliteration, okay? Should be lurking in shadow. Sliding through long grass, okay? So sliding through long grass. So again, there is a sound of go, go, go. I told you, you will see a lot of alliteration and consonants in this particular poetry. Near the water hole where the plump deer pass. Now again, if you see, you are going to see the sound of purr, and purr. After this, he should be snarling around houses. Okay, so let's talk about this one now. He should be snarling near houses. Okay, now when we say he should be snarling, okay, this particular word is actually a sound word. Okay, it is used to show a sound. गुर्राना जिसे हम हिंदी में कहते हैं, a sound that is made by the wild animals. So it is representing a sound, and therefore remember the spelling. Onomatopoeia. Okay, it's poia, but we actually pronounce it as onomatopoeia. So because you are using a sound word, we say that the next poetic device that has been used over here is onomatopoeia. Okay, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's just make some space. Okay, the next one, he should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, barring his white fangs, his claws. Okay, so let's write this one down. फिर से अगर जिन लोगों को confusion है उनका confusion solve हो जाएगा. Barring his white fangs, his claws. Okay, now over here if you see, pay attention everyone, okay, don't get distracted. Barring fangs, so आपने क्या देखा? सबसे पहले तो ग का साउंड रिपीट हो रहा है. ओके, barring his white fangs, his claws. So ग का एक तो आपने देखा कि ग का साउंड रिपीट हो रहा है. दूसरा आपने क्या देखा? किसका साउंड रिपीट हो रहा है? स का साउंड रिपीट हो रहा है. Yes or no? Yes, did you see that? बोल के देखो, आपको पता चल जाएगा. So barring his white fangs, his claws. तो एक तो हमारा हो गया, क्लियरली दिख रहा है consonants, बराबर. So one is consonants. अब थोड़ा सा ध्यान से देखेंगे फिर से. ओके, वन इज कॉन्सोनेंट्स. अब एक और चीज आप नोटिस करो. बारिंग हिज वाइट फैंग्स, हिज क्लॉज, फैंग्स, क्लॉज, baring. So there is a lot of sound of A that you are producing, different sounds of A. And you will also see ing, his. So you are repeating a sound of E also. Yes, can you make that out? There is a sound of E also that you are repeating. So this is called as assonance because you are repeating वोवल साउंड्स. अगर कॉन्सोनेंट्स होता है तो कॉन्सोनेंट साउंड्स होते हैं. ये वाले कौन से साउंड्स हैं आपके? They are called as your vowel sounds. Just a moment, I'll slide it up so that you can write it. Is this part very clear? So this is where we have used assonance and consonants. Now coming down to the next part. Barring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Okay, यहाँ तक तो ठीक है. But he is locked in a concrete cell. Okay. His strength behind bars. I have already told you the use of synecdoche in this line. हम लिख चुके हैं. Okay. So I'm not repeating it again. His strength behind bars is also alliteration. Okay, burr. So you're repeating the sound of burr, so there is alliteration, and bars ke liye it is synecdoche. Stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Here, over here, okay, you are going to see repetition, because the word brilliant is emphasized, so there is repetition. And another one that you're going to see over here is imagery. Okay, another one that you're going to see over here is imagery. Why do I say imagery? Because the poet is making you imagine that the eyes of this beautiful animal is so bright, so vivid. Okay, and let me just check. And stares with his brilliant eyes is again consonants also. Stares his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Now also remember, this one poetic is enjambment also. Okay, so there is enjambment over here. Why? Because it is one line. एक ही लाइन है जिसको पोएट ने दो लाइन में करके लिखा है. एक ही सेंटेंस है जिसको पोएट ने दो लाइन में लिखा है. And stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars is actually one sentence. लेकिन पोएट ने क्या किया है, उसको दो लाइन में डिवाइड कर दिया है. इसे हम कहते हैं एंजैममेंट. लेट्स जस्ट क्रॉस चेक, हमारी एंजैममेंट कोई पुराने में तो नहीं मिस हो गई ना. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps off his cage, on the pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. He should be lurking in the shadow, sliding through the long grass, near the water hole where the plump deer pass. अब यहाँ पे भी आप देखोगे there is enjambment. Why? Because it is actually one sentence that has been divided into different lines. So you will find enjambment over here as well. Okay, so these are the poetic devices. Again, there is enjambment over here also. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge. So just remember, there are a lot of enjambments that I have marked in the poetry, and I'll quickly write the explanation for you over here, just in case if you have not seen my exclusive poetic devices video. Okay, so enjambment, why do we say enjambment over here? A single sentence is divided into two or more या multiple lines by the poet, and please remember, it is without using any punctuations. Comma, full stop, कुछ भी नहीं लगाया है. That is the reason we will say that it is enjambment. Now, just in case if you want to take a full view of everything that we have noted down right now, so let's take a full view of this. Today my laptop is just working a little not fine. हुआ क्या zoom out? No idea. Okay, anyway, I'll just make you go through this, what we have done today. So we discussed enjambment, okay, we have discussed consonants. So I'll just quickly, okay, it won't even let me highlight. So what I'll do is I'll actually mark it with a pencil. Or how about making some stars in our notes, okay? So we discussed enjambment. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, I don't know why it's not taking the thickness. Okay, so we discussed enjambment, we discussed consonants, we discussed the assonance, consonants, onomatopoeia, okay. After that, we have also discussed metaphor, we have discussed synecdoche over here, okay, and we have also discussed consonants over here once again, and over there we have discussed the theme, that is freedom versus captivity is the most important theme out here, and then we also have a theme between tamed and wild and wilderness and natural beauty. Also we discussed that, you know, the poet actually feels sympathetic towards the tiger, so stanza number 5 tells us that there's a lot of sympathy out here, and we know that why the tiger is ignoring. We also studied synecdoche over here, okay. यहाँ पे भी हमने synecdoche करी है. And last but not the least, we saw the symbols of power and dominance. We saw the behavior, the description of the behavior, the suitability of the natural habitat, and we also saw the suppression of emotions in stanza number 1 by the tiger. And we discussed that this poetry is all about the real situation versus the ideal. And it's a 5 stanza, 4 lines each, and the rhyme scheme is A B C B. Okay. Is it very clear? Does this help you? I really hope it does. Do leave a comment for me to let me know if you want more of such sessions, not just for term 1 but also for term 2. I hope you have completely enjoyed this experience of learning a tiger in the zoo in a different format. Very seldom I see teachers, you know, actually doing a mind mapping live in the class. They can probably give you a handwritten note or something, but I love to write it with you in the class, and I hope you loved it as well. So thank you so much for being there, a part of this class. Now let me just tell you that all the students who are interested, one important announcement, just make a note of it. I think it will really help you. So I just want you to note this down. Okay, let me write it with white. Alright, so something that I want you to note down is that special classes, okay, full syllabus, exclusive writing skills, okay, exclusive literature, okay. And this is what I'm going to do. And when are we going to do this? We're going to do this on the 9th and 10th of December. Okay, so 9th and 10th of December, you're going to find me full day on Unacademy. Okay, and one more exciting announcement. On 9th of December, we are also going to do so make sure you're a part of our YouTube family as well as Unacademy family. 100 MCQs on YouTube. So make sure that you're a part of this as well. Okay, so this is the important announcement before your English paper. This is what we are going to do. So make sure that you are there and take the full benefit of you know, having the last minute expertise with you. So yes, see you very soon. Till then, take very good care of yourself. And last but not the least, just in case, you know, if you are someone, okay, a lot of things open, you know, right? I'm multifunctional. Okay, I like to do 10 things at one time. can't do one thing at one time. So yes, last but not the least, we have an amazing feature of Ask a Doubt that is absolutely free of cost. Okay, and you can ask as many doubts as you want on Unacademy, right from class 6 to class 12. Okay, and in return what you're going to get is our Educator's video solution in English and Hindi, both the languages, and this is for maths and science. Okay, you can go ahead and use this before your maths and science paper, share in your doubts. In less than 90 minutes you will be receiving the solution. Now over here, what do you see are the steps. So you just go to the doubt and solution screen and just click on this, upload the picture, crop it. Okay, just select the doubt that you have. Please don't send more than one doubt at one time, and if you are a first time user, it will ask you for a code, so you can absolutely use the code VB Live. And over here you will see our special classes. Why do I insist that you should be a part of our special family? Because you get 3 stunning features apart from all the knowledge, obviously. So what are these 3 stunning features? The 3 stunning features that you get are this, and this. Okay. What do you get is you get a chance to attempt polls. You also get a question tab to share in your questions exclusively, and you also get a leaderboard. Okay, so you get these 3 stunning features and a very live interaction experience where we are reading whatever you're writing. And you also have, once you take a plus subscription, you also have a raise a hand feature, okay, wherein you can talk to the educators on mic in the class, and this is the unlock code that you can use to see all the free classes on the platform of Unacademy. This is how you do step by step. You just download it, you create your profile. Okay, you will have to feed your mobile number over here, and you'll have to create your account. Very simple and basic details: your full name, your email address, state of residence. Okay, and that's it. You can log in with an email also if you don't want to do it with your mobile number. So you just have to install the app. You can use the code VB Live to enjoy everything on Unacademy. You just have to select whether you're a competitive preparer or you are a CBSE 6 to 12 preparer. Accordingly, जैसे आप select करोगे CBSE class 9 10, you will see a lot of classes that I have taken in English and English. So आप ये दोनों में से कोई भी language select करके मेरे course page पे जाके बहुत सारी special classes enjoy कर सकते हो. The link to my course page is given in the description box, so you can just check this. Okay, and last but not the least, wish you all the very best and hope you have a beautiful paper. I have already told you about raise a hand. This is a stunning feature. I completely love this feature and we absolutely enjoy. Yeah, one last thing, if you know anyone in 9th who's interested in participating in combat, it's a huge scholarship with a pool of 1 crore rupees. Every Sunday we do it at 11 AM on an Academy platform. Link will be there in the description box. Do not forget to be our part, and we have 2 options over here to subscribe. Last information, we have 2 options. You have a plus and iconic option. So when you go for a plus option, you get all these amazing features. Okay, you get the notes, you get the quizzes, you get structured courses, live interactive classes, and you get India's best educators. And when you go for iconic, you get all these things that I just told you, but over and above that, you get these extra things. You get a personal mentor, you get a live doubt solution, 1-to-1 live doubt solving every day. You also get regular parent connect feature, and they also give you a study planner. Let me tell you another important feature, a weekly report card. Okay, they will give you every week a report card, looking to your performance, and that is going to really be of great help. So this is how your fee structure is. Do not forget to use the code VB Live and take a 10% discount straight away. Okay, I hope to see you very soon on the Plus and Iconic platform. Thank you for staying there, being there, and I hope this session really helps you. So I'm going to say a bye to you right now, but I'm going to see you very soon with the next session. So make sure that you leave your comment, and if there's anything that you want me to do it for you, something that is possible, so just let me know in the chat section regarding your English syllabus. If you need any kind of guidance that you want me to give before your exams or even for term 2, so feel free to leave your feedback. Please be kind when you write the feedback, and see you once again. Take care, God bless you, and do not forget to use the code VB Live, and together we're going to absolutely crack it, and there's no second thought about it. So bye everyone. Thank you for being such a lovely audience, and I hope this really helps you. Till then, take good care of yourself and keep smiling.